Hold On to Sanity by the Fragments of Silicon.
Welcome to another installment of Fragments of Silicon. I'm your host, Adam. Joining me, as always, is the regular crew, and let's shuffle on to the news. Oh, let's see. Teddy, why don't you start us off this week?
Let's see. I pretty much know what I'm getting for my birthday for next week. Actually, the week after next. Because, let's see, I'm getting a new electric razor from my sister and a cutlery set from my mom. Yay, useful things.
Bloody electric razor. I really fucking hate electric razors.
The one I got's supposed to be good for sensitive skin, so I'll give it a shot.
Well, more for me because my hair curls.
Yeah, same.
I've had electric razors that just pluck it out, and it's painful.
Yeah. And my parents got their stimulus check, so don't know what exactly they're going to do with the rest of it because they paid off what they owed my sister from various things. And they also gave, I guess, kind of $100 for an early birthday present. But as far as what else they're gonna do with it, I don't know. Not really my business.
True enough, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. As far as gaming's going, I'm almost done with Medieval. I'm like at the last boss fight. And debating what I want to get next, if anything, or if I want to get back into Monster Hunter or something like that.
Options.
Yeah, it's almost like there's not a whole lot to do now. Weird how that works out. And yeah, just been kind of still been doing raids. We might be still trying to work out one more raid night in the week if people still don't have, if their jobs are kind of either having work from home or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be interesting to see if we can get that to finally go forward. And I think that's it from my end.
All right, Galix.
Well, my birthday was Monday, and it was pretty uneventful because on top of everything else, it was really shitty weather. Mom and Dad made a nostalgic enchiladas the way they used to make them when I was a kid for dinner, so that was nice. And we got to have a homemade apple pie, so that's good. No particular presents because there's not really much to spend them on right now, so they just gave me a check to use later when stuff clears up, pretty much. In gaming news, I spent my birthday finishing the story, or at least the main story of Pokemon Sword, so I'm finally gotten that done, although I still have there's still the little bit in the post game, and of course you don't have to stop playing just because the story's over. There's still plenty of stuff to raise, so that's neat. I guess that's about all. Thankfully, while my birthday was terrible, the last couple of days have been okay, weather-wise.
Well, it's your go, Twilight.
All right. Well, let's see here. Work's been a mixed bag of busy days and not so busy days. We've had confirmations of 5 cases of the virus in this county as of yesterday. So now I'm gonna be a little more extra careful now. Yeah, I mean, acting as if it's being here. Uh, so it should be okay as long as I don't catch it. Let's see now. The wheel on my lawnmower broke a few days ago when I was cutting grass. Now I gotta go see if I can get that fixed. And let's see here. There's something else I wanted to mention. Uh, uh, uh oh well. Anyway, in terms of gaming, since we were paid extra last week for our efforts during the pandemic at work, I bought Final Fantasy VII Remake. Been playing that, and I've been enjoying it so far. And that's about it for me.
All right, I guess it's my go. Let's see. Well, let's see where to start. I suppose in terms of show news or show adjacent news in this case, bit of an update on the Star Trek Let's Watch collaboration. The recording for that is not happening this Friday due to expected schedule conflicts. Currently, we are aiming for Monday, Monday, April 27th. And we'll see how that pans out. Now, it turns out getting the schedules of 6 people together is kind of hard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not something I'm unfamiliar with because of the show. Like, I mean, we record at certain times because those are when they are most schedule friendly for 4 people plus guests. Not the easiest thing in the universe. Let's see, personal news. Well, mother's birthday was a few days ago. That was an adventure, mainly because the order went out to the wrong pizzeria and had to spend a good 45 minutes tracking that down. I was not happy. Like, yeah, it turns out the pizza place has 2 locations, and wrong location got called. Like,
does not beat the time that we called Pete for pizza for my Pathfinder group, and we accidentally got the fucking Pizza Hut in Yarmouth, Massachusetts.
That's impressive. I suppose I would be more impressed if they actually delivered the pizza.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably might not be safe to eat by that point.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Just airdrop it.
Yeah. Pizza by helicopter. I mean, yeah, it's like at least this pizza was gettable and was, still warm and shit. From the oven. But yeah, outside of that, it went okay. It went about as well as a birthday celebrated at home can go. Like, and let me see. Have not received the stimulus check yet. I don't know. I know I'm in line for it, but I don't know when. Like, and it's like I'm looking to get that so I can replace my Xbox One controller, which finally died after it landed on top and broke the charge slot.
Fun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm back with my very venerable Xbox 360 wired controller. I mean, this thing fucking lasts.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if it wasn't for the shit D-pad, I wouldn't replace it. But oh god, this D-pad is still a horror show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to use it. So as soon as I get that money, I'm like, I'm getting the new Xbox One controller.
Might buy a few of them.
Like, possible. It's like, yeah. And yeah, I think that's about it in terms of the news. So, once again, merrily, this would be where we roll along to the interview. But as mentioned before, the interview promotion got canceled due to the coronavirus. It's not just people not being able to get to an office location. People in self-isolation also have families to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Including kids. That's the case with Strika Games here. The interview will still happen. It's just it has been delayed until isolation constraints get lifted in Australia. So on that note, we shall present our latest installment of Let's Play 80 Days. Oh, let's see what wacky misadventure we get it.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Now, I am sure that they will be comical and frightening.
So we're still in Beirut.
Right. I mean, we remember where we left off because we only did this a week ago.
Yeah.
I think the question is, which route did we want to go?
Yeah.
Did we have a route? I think we still needed to explore.
Yeah. So we should probably do that. Well,
hitting the button. New routes discovered.
I think we're making pretty good time considering we're on like day 19 and we're in Beirut.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Let's see. Okay, what do we got here? Do we want to explore or do we want to say by the quayside? I'm not sure what a quayside is.
It's a harbor area. I would say the city sprawled out, but that's just me.
Yeah, city sounds good to me.
Yeah, let's see who else we can stab in the arm.
John isn't living that down. Just a
Indeed.
tactical steak knife in the arm, and a cigarette butt. I forget, was the guy? Like, seriously, he is a violent person.
Apparently.
Like, at least our incarnation here is.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. An Albanian soldier offered me a game of dice. Group of merchants were heading into the city. So do we want to gamble or do we want to buy shit?
I mean, we can try and gamble. What's the worst that can happen? We end up stabbing a dude with his own dice?
You'd be... Well, it's like, in this case, it might be the us who is stabbed.
Fair.
Let's see. Bet £2. I don't trust Jean with vast sums of money on a game.
Might be a compulsive gambler too.
Maritime quarantine.
He looked looked rather unsettled.
Okay. Let's see. I guess opposed to being at sea with that stuff.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to just note that after 30 days in the old British Navy, sodomy was declared legal. Yeah, I'm like, I gave him a doubtful look. I changed the topic discreetly.
I mean, do you want him to be sick?
Let's discreetly shift the topic and maybe not make eye contact. Opium.
Boy.
British opium. Like, British opium was from India. It's cold to Newcastle. I guess cold to
Newcastle is a coal mining.
Yes,
coal
I
mining
know.
town, I believe.
Yes, I got the analogy. It's like it's just okay.
So we want to go with that
I'm
one?
curious to see where that goes. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well then.
Yeah,
Castles.
yeah. It's like I have that part of my brain that ignores rambling old people stories.
What a daring woman. Selling castles in New Coal.
I mean, considering it's Victorian times.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Looks like we got a new route out of this. And he rolled.
That is actually the one we already saw, but yeah.
Aw, we lost.
Your funds have gone down a touch. See, this is why you bet only £2.
Indeed.
You know, we only lost £4. That's not breaking any banks here.
Alright, so I guess we want to plan.
Yes. All right. Looks like we want to. Looks like we're going
Oh,
down.
we do have a route past Hyle this time.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
So
what
that's good.
opened. Yeah, that's what opened up. So we're going down to Halal and Riyadh.
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah. Well, we're souther than I expected, but whatever. It's not as if we have much of a choice to go elsewise.
I'm sure we'll take the Astro train over the Indian Ocean or something.
I've actually been looking at some guides, and there are some interesting shortcuts you can take if you like do the right
Oh, it's
things.
a good thing we're going to Hull, because the silk can be sold there.
Good. So it's lining up here.
Do we want to buy some loaded dice?
I think we already passed the need for that.
Yeah.
What's the hooded cloak do? Or what set is that in? Urban Traveler? Okay. We should probably just keep what we have.
Yeah.
Unless you want to sell one of the timetables.
We might.
Probably
I
the
think we can-
European shipping?
Yeah, I think we can get rid of the European timetables because we're not in Europe anymore. We're about to hit the Arabian Peninsula.
We're not in Kansas anymore.
The European
Wait.
the only thing the European shipping timetables could have been useful for would be on the way back, but we'll see.
Yeah. So I guess hotel?
Yeah,
Have we planned our thing?
Yeah.
yeah. Huh. Huh. Jean here is not one to shy away from trouble, as we've kind of gotten acquainted with that.
So naturally, I was curious.
Yeah, I'm like, this is going to end up with him in a crate to Marrakesh.
Or somebody's
you
arm
can
as a
get
souvenir.
separated, and you also can like have either you or Mr. Fogg get killed. So
Tell me more. I don't think we're heading to Baghdad, so
Mhm.
I mean, it would give us a different route if we did, but yeah, probably. But yeah,
I don't really see the need to open that up.
So a shame.
Yeah, a shame. Ah, see? Wasn't an air, like they got an airship.
Oh man.
Like, yeah, I wonder if it's probably going to be a Zeppelin, but I wonder if it's going to be like a fucking Super Mario Brothers 3 airship. You know, a literal airship with the fucking propellers and a sailboat.
Indeed. So depart.
I would say so. I mean, it sounds like what we want isn't halal.
Mm-hmm.
and yes, this is an actual ship, airship.
Called it. Because, Final Fantasy has taught me well.
Yeah. I mean, never mind that airships are like this are the most impractical thing I've ever fucking seen.
They're useful if you want to be able to land in the water, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, because those fucking propellers, those look like they would hold up a ship like that.
I'm not sure if those are propellers.
I'm like,
They look like it. Yeah.
Anyway.
I would prefer to feel the rumble of the engine, I think, but I'm not sure.
Rumble sounds better than lights. And then we'll go menace Princess Peach. So much of okay.
I guess converse, or do we want to just wait?
Fog's down to 69, so
Yeah.
and he is not super fond of us. We
Right.
pissed him off a little, so taking care of him probably is a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Wave to the captain, I guess.
Ends up getting shot on sight.
Let's see. What can you tell us about the halal?
Best way to cross the desert?
Sure.
Camel.
What about airships? Oh, what? We don't have the steampunk tanks yet?
It's a first order business, sell the silk before we can do anything else stupid with it.
Yeah.
Alright. Pair of galoshes. I guess we probably want this timetable.
Probably.
Think.
For a little bit north of here, and where's the olive oil good?
Suez?
That's the wrong direction.
Yeah,
It is good in Riyadh, which is where we were gonna go
Yeah.
if we can't get a better route, which
so we will come back to that later then?
Yes.
yeah, I guess.
Oh man, we got new routes.
Let's see.
So, I guess hotel?
Yeah. There was no Versailles. I guess the Sailor's Mistress, since that was mentioned. Continuity. I guess tall. What is that? Cremello?
Yes.
It is a type of horse.
Seems more interesting than further back. I guess introduce ourselves. As per tout.
Superior horse flesh.
To buy.
Yeah, it's like, who the fuck talks about that? Talks like that.
It's a manner of speak. Anyway, we should probably consider it, seeing as how that's where we were going anyway.
Yeah. Let's go with considerate.
Yay.
Slightly.
So, I guess before we depart, we want to grab the olive oil.
Yes.
Or do we have enough time? When does the market open?
7 a.m., so now.
Okay. You're going to need to rearrange that.
Alrighty then.
And then we should probably depart before we,
Miss it.
Ooh, this is not going to be great on the health. We might need
No,
to
it's not, but it's shorter than the other route
Yeah.
out of here.
But that's what I mean. We can probably stay for a couple days. I guess tend to Mr. Fog.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, he's probably going to need it.
Mhm.
Several times, probably.
On one hand, I don't want to insult him by suggesting he adopt Bedouin robes, but also Bedouin robes are like the best actual thing to wear for desert travel. Like, there's a reason they wear those.
Perhaps we should just watch the caravanners. Yeah, this is a tough.
Yeah.
I guess we can go with watch caravanners. What's the worst that can happen?
I guess we'll find out.
Ah, yes. Learning how to get on a goddamn camel.
Oh, God.
That's not so useful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, camels are possibly the worst possible choice of pack animal, except for, the fact that they're the only goddamn thing that can survive for ridiculously long desert journeys.
They'd be the worst pack animals if we had domesticated zebras.
So, do we want to converse or tend to Mr. Fog again?
We're gonna need to tend to them.
All right.
Yeah.
So, do we want to try with adopt
I
the
would, yeah,
robes?
I would ask him to wear the robes.
Yeah.
He probably won't like it, but
He's
Yeah.
losing
Oh.
health.
He apparently slightly improved.
Mm.
Converse? Or, wow, that goes by really quick.
Oof.
Yeah, we're going to be staying in Renaud for a few days.
Indeed.
I let
Secure disapproved
what?
our condition.
Yeah, let Fog deal with this.
That's true. Let the British people deal with each other.
Mm.
Remarkable woman, I guess.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Oh.
Ah.
Well, dang.
Do the thing. Thank you. The controls are kind of finicky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we should probably. Yeah. Is that what she told you? Since we know who that is.
I don't remember.
It's what the lady's Arabic name is.
Hmm.
It just means Anna, daughter of London. As in, not from around here.
Is that
I would say, is that what she told you?
all right?
Refined?
Yay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was a attempt to salvage his, reputation. And yes, again.
Keep grooming the motherfucker. He's not going to the desert. Khaled, I guess. Pilgrims.
Ooh.
See.
So these settlements are dying? Since he seems to be distressed by this
Mhm.
rather than
Progress. Yes.
what will the traders do?
They'll start eating
They don't
camel.
have to buy things.
Oh,
And we'll,
I suppose change is the way of the world.
but what of their traditions? This conversation isn't very interesting, if I'm being honest.
nah, not really.
It's interesting to me, but I'm the kind of person who gets attached to random NPCs and stories, so
Yay.
dreadful.
Mm.
Yeah, fuck camels.
I gave Monsieur Fogg a sip of water.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
he needs it.
He needs it. It might be better to stay here for a day or two. But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that was a rough journey.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but again, I'm looking at the thing, and the only other routes are to Baghdad, which we could have done, but we said we weren't going to, and
Well,
this
sell
one,
the olive oil since.
yeah.
hmm
And the other route is a 14-day caravan to Rub al Khali. So
So,
Let's see. What's the passport there?
fake
it's just
passport.
part of a
Yeah.
yeah. It's part of a set with the weighted dice that we didn't get.
So not useful. Let's see.
Where does the scented candle sell?
Um,
Panama, Suez, and Muscat. We're probably gonna be trying to find the route to Manama.
Okay.
okay.
No. Grab the candle. Draw set.
Drafts.
What? Same deal. We only have.
So I guess we're good with this now.
Yeah, I think so.
So explore.
Yes.
New routes discovered.
Can't leave.
Let's see. Yeah, we're probably going to want to go to Mahana
Mm-hmm.
and head out.
Yeah, Manama is. Sorry, I have a guide open just because it helps a little.
Right.
It doesn't have spoilers.
Yeah.
I restrained him.
Let's go with was a picture. I don't think he would like being restrained.
That's true.
We end up figuring out where we get our stabby streak from.
Huh. I'm like, this is very un-British. He's being forced to eat dates and coffee and drink coffee.
So,
Disdain.
yeah.
Yep. The merits of Darjeeling tea.
Quite right too. Never hurts to suck up to the boss.
Boss ends up throwing you into the fucking ocean.
Well, in this case, he'd probably just leave you out in the desert by yourself.
We're probably going to Manama, so we might as well ask about that. I don't know the actual correct pronunciation of that. I'm just stabbing at the general.
Okay. I guess we can ask about Muscat. We're just asking.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm liking what I'm hearing from Manama. I'm really liking what I'm hearing from Manama now.
So do we want to do the water route to Bombay?
Yeah,
Yes.
probably.
But first, we're going to stay at the hotel for a couple days.
Yes.
At least a day, yeah.
I decided to take drastic measures to aid my master.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 3 days to recover to full strength.
There was no alternative. Just in case we end up in the desert in India or something.
Yep.
Oh,
All
hey,
right.
yeah. Oh, look, we accomplished all our goals. So onward to
Manama. Negotiate. Continue.
most generous.
Mhm.
I mean,
Oh man, it's a fancy car.
Hmm.
Of course, this means that it's, kind of uncomfortable, but
better than the camel trail.
yes,
But only just.
he clearly loved his car.
Yeah.
Sounds much safer than dwelling on,
Firing the slogan.
Oh, it was an electric engine. I was like, okay.
Yeah, which was actually a thing in like the 1890s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there were competing standards, let's say, and the the gas engine won.
So I began a conversation, I'm guessing.
I suppose.
Might find out more routes.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I think we'll wrap things up at Manama since it's about 10:15.
Yeah.
And pledge to secrecy. Yes, let's keep that under wraps. I mean, considering our character traditions are valuable, like Jean seems to be very.
French
yeah,
Revolution.
but on the other hand, we don't want to insult the guy driving our car.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, but Fogg liked it, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yay. Alrighty then.
All right. So this
So
is.
we have a candle to sell and then a ship to Bombay to catch.
Well, let's sell the candle now so we don't forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Market, candle.
Save.
And what are those? Desert Traveler, which they have the other half of too. Wait. Check the pocket altimeter. That's aviator set, I think. Yeah, air
Yeah.
traveler. Yeah, so never mind.
All right, so we good?
Yeah, I
Yep.
think so.
All right. So this will about do it for the Let's Play episode.
Mhm.
Will we play it next week? Hopefully not, but such is our times. Anyway, when you get the chance, play us to the next segment. All right, welcome to the topic of discussion. This week we are going to talk about the presumptive Resident Evil 4 remake. So, if you missed the rumor mill churning this past weekend, apparently details leaked out that Capcom is indeed working on Resident Evil 4, the remake. And to clarify, this is not just another remaster. What Resident Evil 4 has gotten, or at least it's gotten a re-release on modern day platforms, and I think it got an HD texture pack on the PC version, or if that I'm trying to remember if that was official or it was just a PC mod. But I know they definitely made a better version for the PC because the initial PC version of Resident Evil 4 was hot garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But anyway, so Resident Evil 4 remake is purported to be in development, and that's got people talking. Not particularly positive
Yeah.
for a few reasons, actually. Like there are there's actually a couple of negative camps here, though one has to be careful with negative camps because loud voices don't exactly mean many voices. Because okay, to break it down, like the first camp is screeching about Resident Evil 4 because they feel that Resident Evil 4 doesn't need a remake. It's fine just the way it is. And
It's a recent enough game comparatively that it isn't suffering for technology.
right, in terms of its play mechanics, it's like motherfucker, it's a building block of the modern day game industry. Like,
Yep.
Like so many games ripped off Resident Evil 4. Like, I'm sure there is a serious topic to be looked at in terms of the actual influence of Resident Evil 4 on video gaming as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Not just like the horror genre, not just like Dead Space 8 to Resident Evil, pretty closely in terms of control, but just in general. It's acknowledged that Resident Evil 4 had a profound effect. But I'm like, that's the kind of project that's kind of beyond our capabilities, at least at this level. A casual topic of discussion. No, that's a serious video essay that you'd spend about an hour and a half on. We'll leave that to like Game Maker's Toolkit or something. Like, anyway, but yeah, it's like there are people who are upset that Resident Evil 4 is getting a remake at all. And not just because they feel that it's too recent. It's the way that Resident Evil 2 and 3's remakes have panned out, especially Resident Evil 3's.
Yeah.
And this actually ties into the rumor news because apparently the Resident Evil 4 remake is going to be made at Me Too. They're the people who handled Resident Evil 3. Also, I guess to branch off into the next group, there's the people who just complaining about remakes in general. They want something new. Thing about that is that the news has previously broken that Resident Evil 8 is in development, being shot for next gen. I presume that Resident Evil 4 would be that as well. Point is, like, Capcom actually has 2 teams working on Resident Evil games now. You know, you got the main team that did, Resident Evil 7. I presume, like, I'm not exactly sure what the breakdown is, but I do know the breakdown between Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 is 2 different teams made these.
Mhm.
So, so Resident Evil 8 is in development alongside Resident Evil 4 remake. If you're worried about getting something new, that's gonna happen still. Like, they're still gonna make new Resident Evils. I'm like, so that's not a concern. Another concern is the actual developer itself. Me too. So, to briefly touch upon the Resident Evil 3 remake, there are people upset about the changes that had been made to Resident Evil 3, because Resident Evil 3's remake has cut some content, like most notably the clock tower. Now, mind you, Resident Evil 3 has added a whole bunch of shit, arguably more, but it's still, they changed, they cut. Like, there are people who are concerned about, having the castle cut. Like, though, honestly, if, like, we can improve Resident Evil 4. It's like, it's not a fucking perfect masterpiece. And if you think that way, then you have obviously fogged your memory over the fucking escort missions. Segments. Like, I defy you to find somebody who liked escorting Ashley around. I'm like, granted, it was alleviated a bit by stuffing her in a chest every now and again. Not even joking about that.
Yeah, sometimes you can have her hiding in boxes and closets and whatnot.
I'm like, so weirdly enough, Resident Evil 4 suppositioned modern indie horror. It's just, doing that along with an escort mission was fucking awful. And I will contend it was fucking awful, because escort missions are just fucking awful.
Yeah,
It's
generally they're awful.
Yeah.
I don't remember escorting actually being all that bad though, but that's just me. I know most people hated it.
But just in general design principles, it's an awful mechanic. Like I said, in terms of actual escort missions, this is on the better end of things, because you can protect her by hiding her in a place. Which some escort missions do not afford the opportunity to do so, let me tell you.
Yep.
So it's just, if the escort missions got fucking excised from Resident Evil 4, I wouldn't be fucking crying. Like, in terms of graphics, well, obviously a remake will look better. Like, at least in terms of technical fidelity. Art is a different kettle of fish. But given how the other Resident Evil remakes have churned out, that doesn't seem to be a problem. Anyway, the next group of unhappy malcontents are the people who are championing Resident Evil Code Veronica, which is generally considered to be the actual next main game in the franchise. But I suppose, welcome to being not a numbered entry in said franchise. It's like, presumably the reason why Resident Evil 3 got the thumbs up and Resident Evil Code Veronica is getting left in the dust of the PlayStation 2. Which is a bit odd, because honestly, back about pre Resident Evil 4, I think, like, there was a lot of people who liked Code Veronica more than Resident Evil 3. I definitely remember that.
Yeah.
Then again, Resident Evil 3 was kind of always overshadowed by Resident Evil 2. But I suppose that's neither here nor there. It's like in Resident Evil Code Veronica, another reason why people want to pick this one is because it's the last major Resident Evil that's still adhering to tank controls that hasn't gotten some sort of update. Technically speaking, RE1 and RE0, they're still doing the tank control thing,
but nobody minds the game. Once they got up to GameCube levels, they made it work a lot better. Or, I mean, Resident Evil 0 has a lot of its own problems. But once again, that and hell, there are people who want Resident Evil 1 to be remade in more of the Resident Evil 4 2 style. Like, a lot of this is coming down to you're remaking this game. Why don't you do this game? Like, going down the list, there are people who fucking want Dino Crisis remade. I'm like, and Dino Crisis isn't fucking Resident Evil. Like, I liked the first Dino Crisis game, but the Dino Crisis family has been dead since Dino Crisis 3.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, okay. So breaking down to the core question, should Resident Evil 4 get remade? Probably not. Like, I'm in the camp that generally agrees that Resident Evil 4 is modern enough where it doesn't need a remake. But the other question that is to be asked here, will Resident Evil 4 get a remake? Like, is this news true? And I'm like, you bet your sweet ass it's true. Did you see the numbers that Resident Evil 2 posted? I'm like, have you seen the numbers that Resident Evil 3's remake has posted? I'm like, of course they are going to fucking remake Resident Evil 4. Because at this point, in Capcom's view, that's money being left off the fucking table.
Yeah.
Beloved or not.
Even if they were going to remake Code Veronica, that doesn't mean they aren't going to remake Resident Evil 4, and you don't have to remake things in a strict order.
Right. Yeah, of course they're shifting to Resident Evil 4 because, it's one of the most popular...
Because 4 is the number that comes after 3?
Right, and Resident Evil 4 is one of the most popular entrants in the franchise. It's not the it's not the highest sold. That's actually Resident Evil 5. Like, but Resident Evil 4 has been ported to like fucking 13 platforms or something like that.
Yeah, with each new generation it gets ported.
Yeah, like, seriously, like Resident Evil 4 is like Street Fighter 2 levels of availability.
Yeah.
And also, I don't have a problem with this. Like, oh no, your game is more available and accessible to the people. The horror. I mean, if it's ported badly, that's another case. Once again, looking at you, original PC version. Seriously, it was a fucking mess.
Yeah, they chose the PlayStation 2 version to use as the port.
As far as the question of, why don't they port X, Y, or Z? Well, quite frankly, because Resident Evil 4 is considered to be the next numbered mainline entering the franchise, and because Capcom thinks they will make more money from that than a Code Veronica remake or a Dino Crisis remake. Like, I suppose there's nothing stopping them from, making another Resident Evil team to do Code Veronica remake or something like that. I suppose there's also concerns about the law of diminishing returns, but when does that ever fucking stop the publisher from running a thing into the ground?
Indeed.
Capcom, like, oh no, I'm like, oh boy, Capcom's running a franchise into the fucking ground. Never seen that before.
Looks at Street Fighter.
They're like the king of running things into the ground.
I'm like, you don't expect Capcom to do that? You haven't been paying attention to Capcom. And once again, of course they're going to try and remake Resident Evil 4. It's like, they're a business. Like, Capcom is not really here to make high art.
Indeed.
I guess you could decry capitalism over that, but I'm like, that's kind of why Capcom exists. online people are very shouty about shit. Anyway,
Yeah.
and it's also there was another point I wanted to bring up. It's also next gen stuff is coming, and I guess they felt that this would serve better than another report of the game. It's like, because we are talking about a game that did start on the GameCube, PlayStation 2. Like, and it's also another. If people are upset about the the remakes upon remakes upon the remakes, okay, well, then don't buy them.
Indeed.
I have the same disdain for this attitude as I do for the live action Disney fucking remakes. I'm like, it doesn't really, like, you can call them soulless all you want, or what Kevin calls them, the creeps, but the audience is fucking going to this. I suppose you can cry that they're manipulating nostalgia, but I'm like, it's what fucking the audience wants this shit. And specifically the audience, in the case of Disney, they want the 90s animated remakes, or a marginally interesting reimagining of, say, Sleeping Beauty, because fucking Dumbo got remade. That did absolutely zero business. I bet you even forgot that this thing existed. Or like the Lady and the Tramp live action remakes going to Disney Plus.
Dumbo was a really bizarre choice.
Right. But getting back to the core issue of Resident Evil 4, Capcom is also remaking this game because they feel that more people want Resident Evil 4 remade than, say, Code Veronica. Now you could definitely cry that this is missing out a key piece of the franchise, or introducing Code Veronica to a new audience, but Resident Evil 4 is getting remade, getting like the big proper remake for the same reason that like Final Fantasy VII is getting the fucking most expensive remake package imaginable, because it was super fucking popular, a defining game of the fucking age. Quite frankly, Capcom is going to remake Resident Evil 4. They should be they should be doing the tip-top job. I do have a concern that that they're using the new team. They might not be up to the pressure, because there's going to be some fucking high expectations for the Resident Evil 4 remake. That could not be helped. Especially coming off the grumbling of the Resident Evil 3 remake. Not super poisonous or anything, but it's still, once again, Resident Evil 3 is so much less beloved than Resident Evil 4. And
indeed.
I just don't need to hear more fucking death threats against people because something didn't live up to fucking expectations again. I don't like having to echo that, but fucking people on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a shame about some things about 3, but there's no reason to get so bent out of shape over it.
I know. But it's like Resident Evil 4, it carries that weight times that. It's like if they had, just looking around at some of the Final Fantasy VII stuff, if they had screwed that up, it seems by and large that the Final Fantasy VII's remake has turned out okay. Of course, it also helps that this is only part of the remake, but that's a story for another day. Anyway, so yeah. To sum up, Resident Evil 4, the rumor probably true. I'm like,
Mhm.
it's gonna happen whether you like it or not, because Capcom feels like there is money to be made here.
Mhm.
And I'm like, Capcom has never been shied about, you know, fucking retreading or re-releasing shit to make a quick buck.
Indeed.
Once again, Resident Evil 4, numerous ports.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, like I do think like Resident Evil 4's remake is probably going to be. It would probably be a conference centerpiece if that was still a thing that was happening this year.
Mm.
I mean, like this is going to be the year of no fucking conferences, because the news just came over the wire today that Gamescom is fucking canceled.
Isn't TGS canceled too?
Not yet, but that's in September.
Mm.
Yeah.
Gamescom got canceled because Germany is under lockdown until August 30th in terms of events. They said they were moving over to an all-digital event thing, but we saw how well that went with E3. It's like E3 is completely fucking done this year. Like they're not even doing a digital event. And people are having trouble just relaying information in general. Like the Sonic South by Southwest panel information that got pushed back because people are so afraid of the Rona. So I think Resident Evil 4 is real. It's just fuck even knows when we're gonna learn about it properly.
Indeed.
All right, so yeah, that'll about do it for this installment of Fragments of Silicon. If you liked what you heard, be sure to subscribe, click the bell, give us a cheer, buy the bits. Still working on the banter. Anyway, coming up on the week ahead, as mentioned previously, our Friday activities aren't happening. Not that would be broadcasted live. But coming up on the Sunday reviews, we've got reviews of Crew 167, the Grand Block Odyssey. This is certainly a curious game, certainly a unique game, as like somebody decided to attach a lot of fucking ambition to sliding Sokoban. It's this grand sci-fi epic, and your gameplay mechanic was sliding block puzzles. I have complicated feelings over this game.
I'd imagine.
We got Galaxy Warfighter, which Petty Fan will be handling.
Yep.
Yeah, it's one of these games that's pre-release and doesn't unlock until it's ready.
Tomorrow, I believe.
We got 0000 for the Nintendo Switch, which is a lo-fi 1-bit platforming game. And obviously Galax will be handling that. And finally, we have She Wants Me Dead, which is a port of a mobile masochist platform game. And for those who are unfamiliar with the terminology, a masochistic platformer is something in the vein of like Super Meat Boy or I Want to Be the Guy, or 1001 Spikes. Something. And this game is definitely in that vein. How well did it make the transition to PC and all that stuff? More on that on Sunday. So until then, I shall wish you good gaming.